London's ecosystem around tech is amazing at the moment. We've certainly built enormous amounts of credibility, certainly in Europe, but actually we're now standing globally, particularly in fintech. And actually, London, we're home of the creative capital of the world. We own some really big ad agencies, so we should be really good at the media and marketing end of it. And I think we are building some credibility in that at the moment. So I think what investors are looking for from media and marketing opportunities is the opportunity to scale globally. Obviously, there's an awful lot of startups in this space, but the ones that have that unique opportunity to be able to scale right across the world are the ones that investors are looking for. So you imagine Facebook being 90% of the population or whatever it is now, what a fantastic opportunity for an investor that is. So that's what the kind of thing they're looking at is, can it address a UK market, can it address American market, and then of course all the other markets around it. And the second thing they're most interested in is the team. Does that team have sector experience? Are they good hustlers? And I think that our strength here in London is actually we've got a lot of capability in our sector specialism that should be able to move into startups. There's no reason why we shouldn't. What we need is entrepreneurs that can think really, really big. Mark Zuckerberg has an amazing vision, and he had that amazing vision right from the beginning, and I think that's what we need. And then there's no reason why we shouldn't. And there are now evidence, so Skyscanner was grown here in Edinburgh, and you've got TransferWise in the fintech space. They are billion-dollar companies, so we can do it. So I think the key between the relationship between the agency and the startup, there's probably three things. I think number one is actually you need a senior buy-in commitment that actually they're going to allocate some resources internally to be able to work with startups. Because working with startups is hard. You're not going to get the results straight away. You are going to have to practice. And so that means there does need to be a commitment from a long-term perspective to make that work. And I think where agencies are getting the most value is when they have that criteria. They've got senior buy-in and they're looking at the long term. So are agencies ready to bring tech into their businesses? I think some are. And certainly if you look at some of the work that Ogilvy have done, Digitas have done, even MEC, they are definitely opening their doors, and Starcom as well, opening to their doors and being ready. But they've still got the resource issue. Agencies have got a business model, it's proven, why would they change it? And that's the challenge when trying to work with new technology, is it doesn't fit within their nice, easy business model, and therefore staff are not going to change what they do to change to go over to a startup over here, and I think that's the challenge. So I think the biggest attraction that agencies can offer startups is one of, and this is perception. So they think the agency is going to open their doors to all of their clients. So that's why a startup is interested in working with agencies. They think one sell, I get 20 clients. So I think that's the attraction. That of course doesn't always come to pass. You've got to have the right client with the right budget who's also committed to innovation and new technology. So I think the perception is somewhat misguided. I still think the agencies can add enormous amounts of value to a startup, but I think they need to manage their expectations. So agencies innovating themselves, there is some sort of pockets of examples, but most of it they have bought in the tech. And the challenge I think most agencies have is they buy in the tech and then try and outcompete the next person. So that's why you have this mishap of an ad tech marketplace, especially because one agency's gone down one route and other agency's gone down another. So I don't think they've done that much innovation, to be fair. They're not set up to do it because of their business models that we talked about earlier. They don't have a budget to allocate to innovate in that way. Their innovation comes out of creativity, and that's where I think they're probably missing the boat with some of this tech, because it's amazingly fantastic to offer a brilliant creative platform, but I don't think they're harnessing it enough, because they're using the tech in a programmatic way, maybe, for example, rather than thinking about the creative platforms that could go on mobile, that could go on via VR. So I think that's where they are. So the trends in the startup world this year, I think, are VR. Whether it lives up to its dream, who knows, but I think everyone's going to have a go this year. So there's an opportunity to be able to have a go in a cheaper way, and let's see if the consumers come. The ad agency world is, there's a catalogue of disasters. Just because you can, they will, rather than thinking about the platform and whether it's right for the consumer. So let's see on VR. I think some brands will have a lot of success. I think we're getting to the point where personalisation can come to the forefront now. We as consumers are probably demanding it. We're not quite ready for it quite yet, because that means you know too much about us. But I think this is the year where you'll see some really clever stuff around personalisation. And of course, the mobile will continue its march.